The door to my husband's office was barely cracked open when I heard him say the three words that shattered my world: "I love you, Olivia." My grocery bags hit the floor. Apples rolled across our hardwood like scattered pieces of my heart. The sound echoed through our hallway, the same hallway where Liam proposed to me 3 years ago. Olivia. My sister's name falling from my husband's lips like a prayer I was never meant to hear. My legs turned to water. I pressed my back against the wall, struggling to breathe as his voice continued, tender and desperate in a way he'd never spoken to me. "I should have chosen you, Olivia. I should have fought for you before Chloe got in the way." The words sliced through me like broken glass. My vision blurred. 7 years of marriage, and I was just in the way? "Liam, we can't keep doing this. She's my sister." Olivia's voice, soft and guilty, drifted through that crack in the door. My hands were shaking so violently I couldn't control them. The metallic taste of betrayal filled my mouth. Our wedding photo smiled at me from the hallway table, 3 faces beaming with happiness. All lies. And she's my wife. But you're the one I dream about. The one I compare every kiss to. The one I should have married. The silence that followed was deafening. I could hear my own heartbeat thundering in my ears, drowning out everything except the sound of my world crumbling. Then Olivia spoke again, and her words didn't just break my heart, they incinerated everything I thought I knew about my life. "I know, baby. I've been waiting 7 years for you to realize Chloe was just practice for the real thing." But what came next made me understand this wasn't just an affair, it was something so much worse. Just that morning, I had been planning our anniversary dinner, completely unaware that my marriage was built on a lie. I remember standing in our kitchen at 6 a.m., coffee mug in hand, watching Liam tie his tie in the reflection of our microwave door. 7 years of mornings just like this one. 7 years of stolen kisses before he left for work, of him texting me random jokes during lunch breaks, of falling asleep to the sound of his breathing. "What should we do for our anniversary next month?" I'd asked, leaning against his chest as he wrapped his arms around me from behind. "Whatever makes you happy, beautiful," he'd whispered into my hair. "You know I'm terrible at planning these things." I was the planner. The organizer. The one who remembered birthdays and made reservations and sent thank you cards. Liam always said I was the heart of our relationship while he was the practical one, the provider, the protector, the steady presence that made me feel safe in a world that had always felt uncertain. Growing up, Olivia had been everyone's favorite. The golden daughter with perfect grades and effortless charm. I was the younger sister who tried too hard, loved too much, wanted too desperately to belong somewhere. When I met Liam in college, I finally found my place. He chose me. Me, not the prettier girl at the party or the smarter one in his study group. Just me. Our Sunday family dinners were my favorite tradition. Liam would help Mom in the kitchen while Olivia and I set the table. Dad would tell his same old stories, and we'd all laugh like we were hearing them for the first time. Liam fit seamlessly into our family puzzle, the son my father never had, the brother Olivia treated like her best friend, the husband who made me feel like the luckiest woman alive. "You two are relationship goals," our friends would say. "When are you having babies?" We'd been trying for 2 years. Month after month of disappointment, of pregnancy tests with single lines, of Liam holding me while I cried over what felt like another failure. Olivia would send me articles about fertility and stress, care packages with herbal teas and encouraging notes. "It'll happen when it's meant to happen," she'd text me after each negative test. "Liam loves you so much. You can see it in the way he looks at you." I believed her. I believed in us. Liam never pressured me about the baby thing, never made me feel broken or inadequate. When I worried that maybe he'd be happier with someone who could give him children easily, he'd cut my face in his hands and promise that all he needed was me. "We're a team, Chloe. Whatever happens, we face it together." Our marriage wasn't perfect, no relationship is, but it felt real. Solid. Liam left his socks on the bedroom floor and forgot to replace the toilet paper roll. I hogged the remote during reality TV marathons and had a tendency to overthink everything. But we laughed more than we fought. We still held hands during movies. He still brought me flowers on random Tuesdays, just because. Last month, he'd surprised me with a weekend getaway to the cabin where we'd spent our honeymoon. We'd hiked the same trails, made love in the same bed, talked about our dreams like we were still those hopeful newlyweds planning our future. I love our life, I'd told him on that trip, my head on his chest as we watched the sunrise through the cabin windows. Me too, he'd said, pressing a kiss to the top of my head. I can't imagine being anywhere else. Looking back now, I realize the signs were always there. I just chose to ignore them. It started with small things that didn't make sense. Liam's phone buzzing at 11 p.m. on a Tuesday. The way he'd flip it face down immediately, that guilty flush creeping up his neck like a teenager caught with contraband. Work emergency, he'd mumble, but his accounting firm had never required midnight crisis management before. Then came Olivia's birthday in March. I'd been scrambling to find the perfect gift, completely forgetting the date until the day before. But Liam? Liam had her present wrapped and ready 2 weeks early. How did you remember? I asked, genuinely amazed. He shrugged. I put it in my phone calendar. But I'd never seen him calendar anyone else's birthday. Not even mine. The real crack appeared on a Thursday evening. Liam was in the shower, and his phone lit up on our nightstand. Olivia's name flashed across the screen with a message preview, "Can't stop thinking about what you said." My stomach twisted. I stared at those words until the screen went dark, telling myself it was innocent. Sister-in-law conversation. Maybe she was having relationship problems with Noah and needed Liam's advice. But when Liam emerged from the bathroom, towel around his waist, I watched him check his phone with an expression I'd never seen before. Soft. Hopeful. The way he used to look at me during our early dating days. Everything okay? I asked. Yeah, just. Olivia's dealing with some work stuff. She asked for my opinion. The lie tasted bitter in the air between us. Olivia had her MBA and 10 years of marketing experience. She'd never needed anyone's opinion on work, especially not Liam's. Family dinners became torture. I'd catch Liam's eyes lingering on Olivia as she told stories, notice how he'd laugh just a beat too long at her jokes. During Easter brunch, he jumped up to help her carry dishes while I sat with dirty plates in front of me. Liam's such a gentleman, Mom had said, beaming. But gentlemen don't ignore their wives to serve their sisters-in-law. The breaking point came during our monthly double date with Olivia and Noah. We'd gone to that new Italian place downtown, and Olivia had worn a red dress that made her look stunning. Liam couldn't take his eyes off her. "You look beautiful tonight," he'd told her, right in front of Noah and me. Noah had smiled proudly. I'd felt sick. In the car afterward, I'd finally worked up the courage to ask. "Do you think Olivia's happy with Noah?" Liam's hands had tightened on the steering wheel. "Why would you ask that?" "I don't know. You just seem concerned about her lately. She's your sister. Of course I care about her happiness." But the way he'd said it, defensive, almost protective, made my chest ache with a fear I couldn't name. I wish I had trusted my instincts that night, because the truth was so much worse than paranoia. The conversation I overheard wasn't about a recent affair. It was about 7 years of living a lie. I pressed my ear closer to that crack in Liam's office door, my heart hammering so loudly I was afraid they'd hear it through the walls. "I can't keep pretending, Olivia. Every night I lie next to her and think about you. Every kiss feels like betrayal, not to Chloe, but to us." My knees buckled. I slid down the wall, groceries forgotten, apples still rolling across our hallway floor like witnesses to my destruction. "Liam, we've talked about this. The timing was never right. When we first met, I wasn't ready for marriage. You were so sweet, so stable, and Chloe adored you. So you let me marry your sister instead? His voice cracked with 7 years of suppressed longing. I thought I was doing the right thing. I was 23 and terrified of commitment. Chloe needed you more than I did back then. My chest felt like it was caving in. All those early dates when I'd gushed about Liam to Olivia, asking for advice about what to wear, how to impress him. She'd helped me pick out the dress I wore when he proposed. She'd been my maid of honor, for God's sake. But somewhere along the way, I realized I'd made a mistake. Olivia's voice continued, thick with emotion. Watching you two together, seeing how you loved her. I wanted that. I wanted you. You had me, Liam whispered. You've always had me. From the first moment we met at that barbecue, when Chloe introduced us. Do you remember what you were wearing? That blue sundress with the tiny flowers. My vision blurred. I remembered that day perfectly. I'd been so excited to introduce my boyfriend to my family. Olivia had looked stunning in that dress, and Liam had complimented her immediately. I'd felt proud that my sister approved of my choice. I'd been so stupid. I fell in love with you that day, Liam confessed. But you were dating that guy from your law school, and Chloe. Chloe looked at me like I hung the moon. I convinced myself that loving her would be enough. And now? Now I dream about what our life could have been. I imagine coming home to you instead of her. I picture our children having your eyes, your laugh. I've spent 7 years building a life with the wrong sister. The words hit me like physical blows. Every anniversary dinner, every I love you, every moment of intimacy, all of it had been him settling for second best. I was the consolation prize he'd convinced himself to want. When I was in the hospital last month for that appendectomy, Olivia said softly, you were there every day. You brought me books and sat with me for hours. Noah visited twice. Because I was terrified of losing you. And that's when I knew we couldn't keep pretending this thing between us didn't exist. My phone buzzed in my pocket. A text from Olivia, having dinner with Noah tonight. Love you, sis. The lie was so casual, so practiced. How many other texts had been cover stories for secret meetings with my husband? Chloe deserves better than this, Liam said, and for a moment, I felt a flicker of hope. She does. She deserves someone who loves her completely, not someone who's been settling for her while longing for her sister. That hope died instantly. They weren't feeling guilty about the betrayal, they were feeling sorry for me. Poor, pathetic Chloe who didn't know her husband had married the wrong woman. So what do we do? Liam asked. I don't know. Noah is talking about proposing. Chloe's been trying to get pregnant. Everything's so complicated now. I should have fought for you 7 years ago. And I should have been brave enough to want you. I heard movement, footsteps, and I scrambled away from the door just as it opened. Liam emerged, his hair disheveled, his shirt wrinkled. He looked startled to see me standing there with groceries scattered around my feet. Chloe. I didn't hear you come in. How long have you been home? I stared at my husband, this man I'd trusted with my heart, my body, my future, and saw a stranger. Just got here, I managed, my voice somehow steady. Dropped the bags. But the next thing I heard made me realize Olivia wasn't the victim in this story, she was the architect. I sat in my car for 3 hours that night, screaming until my voice gave out. The parking lot of our local grocery store became my sanctuary of breakdown. Under the fluorescent lights, surrounded by the mundane sounds of shopping carts and car doors, I let myself fall apart completely. My hands wouldn't stop shaking. Every time I closed my eyes, I heard Liam's voice, I've spent 7 years building a life with the wrong sister. The words played on repeat like a broken record, each repetition carving deeper into what was left of my heart. 7 years. Our entire relationship had been him settling. Every I love you had been a lie he told himself to make peace with his second choice. Every anniversary, every romantic gesture, every moment of intimacy, all of it tainted by the knowledge that he was imagining someone else. I thought about our wedding day. How radiant Olivia had looked in her emerald bridesmaid dress, how she'd given that beautiful speech about love and loyalty. Chloe has found her perfect match, she'd said, tears in her eyes. Liam, you're getting the most loving, genuine woman I know. Take care of her heart. The applause had been thunderous. I'd hugged her afterward, whispering, "Thank you for being the best sister in the world." "You deserve all the happiness in the world," she'd whispered back. All lies. Performance art. They'd both been acting while I lived in blissful ignorance. How many family dinners had I sat through, clueless, while they exchanged secret looks? How many times had I thanked Olivia for being so supportive of my marriage, so welcoming to Liam? I'd even joked about how lucky I was that my husband and sister got along so well. The humiliation burned worse than the betrayal. Everyone must have seen it. The way Liam's face lit up when Olivia entered a room, how he hung on her every word, how he'd find excuses to help her with her coat or walk her to her car. I'd been the only one blind enough to call it family bonding. My phone buzzed. "Liam, working late tonight. Don't wait up. Love you." Another lie. He was probably with her right now, finally free to be himself without having to pretend he wanted to come home to me. I drove to Rossetti's, the Italian restaurant where Liam had proposed 3 years ago. The same booth where he'd gotten down on one knee and promised to love me forever. The hostess recognized me. "Table for 2 tonight, Mrs. Patterson?" "Just 1, please." She led me to our usual spot, and I ordered a bottle of their most expensive wine. The kind Liam and I had been saving for a special occasion. What could be more special than the death of my marriage? "Are you celebrating something?" the waiter asked cheerfully. "Yes," I said, my voice steady for the first time all day. "I'm celebrating the end of my old life." The wine tasted like freedom and despair mixed together. Around me, other couples shared intimate dinners, holding hands across candlelit tables. Had any of them ever sat where I was sitting, realizing their entire relationship was built on lies? My phone kept buzzing. "Olivia, how was your day?" "Noah surprised me with dinner at that new steakhouse." More performance. More lies wrapped in sisterly affection. I typed back, "Wonderful day. Liam's working late. Wish I had someone to keep me company like you do." The irony felt delicious and poisonous. By the time I finished the bottle, something had shifted inside me. The crushing despair was still there, but underneath it, something else was growing. Something cold and calculating and surprisingly strong. They thought they were so clever. So careful. They pitted me, poor, naive Chloe who couldn't see what was right in front of her face. They'd built their secret love story on the foundation of my stupidity. But as I sat in that booth where Liam had proposed, surrounded by the remnants of our fake fairy tale, I realized something crucial: they had underestimated me completely. Because in that moment, I decided I wasn't going to be the heartbroken victim of their love story. I was going to be the author of their destruction. I spent the next 2 weeks being the perfect wife while planning their perfect downfall. The transformation happened overnight. When I walked through our front door after that wine-soaked revelation at Rossetti's, I caught sight of myself in the hallway mirror. My eyes were red, my mascara smeared, my hair a mess. I looked exactly like what I was, a broken woman who'd just discovered her life was a lie. But something clicked in that moment. I straightened my shoulders, wiped my face, and made a decision that would change everything. I wasn't going to confront them. I wasn't going to scream or throw dishes or demand explanations. Those were the reactions of someone who still believed in fairness, in the possibility of redemption. I was going to destroy them systematically. The next morning, I made Liam his favorite breakfast, blueberry pancakes with real maple syrup. I packed his lunch with a handwritten note: "Hope your day is as wonderful as you make mine." Love, your adoring wife. He kissed my forehead, looking guilty and grateful. You're too good to me, Chloe. I know, I said, smiling sweetly. I really am. While he was at work, I began my research. Liam wasn't as careful as he thought. His laptop password was still our anniversary date. How romantic. His email history revealed months of deleted conversations, but technology leaves traces for those who know where to look. I found them. Dozens of messages discussing their complicated situation. Hotel receipts forwarded between accounts. Photos he'd taken of her that I was never meant to see. A digital paper trail of betrayal dating back 2 years. But the most damning evidence came from Liam's phone backup, conversations he thought were gone forever. Every "I love you" he'd whispered to her while lying next to me. Every plan they'd made to meet while I was visiting Mom. Every cruel laugh they'd shared about my cluelessness. Chloe asked me yesterday if I thought you were happy with Noah. Liam had texted Olivia 3 weeks ago. I almost told her the truth, that you'd be happier with me. Poor Chloe. She tries so hard to be the perfect wife. If only she knew she's fighting a battle she lost 7 years ago, Olivia had replied. The cruelty of it took my breath away. They weren't just betraying me, they were entertained by it. But their entertainment was about to end. I called Olivia daily, gushing about my plans for our anniversary party. I want to celebrate love, I told her. Real, lasting love. The kind that survives everything. That's so sweet, Chloe. Liam's lucky to have someone who loves him so completely. The lies rolled off her tongue like poetry. I visited Noah at his law firm, bringing him coffee and asking for advice about surprising Liam. Noah was everything Liam wasn't, genuinely kind, completely honest, utterly devoted to Olivia. He deserved so much better than a woman who was using him as a placeholder. Olivia's been distracted lately, I mentioned casually. I hope she's not working too hard. She has been putting in long hours, Noah agreed, concern creasing his brow. I've been worried about the stress. Maybe she needs more support at home, I suggested. Some women need constant reassurance that they're loved. I planted seeds of doubt everywhere. With our parents, Liam and Olivia have such a special bond. Sometimes I feel like the third wheel at family dinners. With mutual friends, it's amazing how well Olivia knows Liam. She always seems to anticipate his needs. Everyone heard my words as gratitude for a close family. But doubt, once planted, grows in darkness. The beautiful thing about liars is they think they're smarter than everyone else. Liam and Olivia had gotten comfortable in their deception. They'd grown careless, confident that naive little Chloe would never catch on. But I was catching everything now. Every secret glance. Every too long hug. Every excuse that didn't quite add up. And slowly, methodically, I began building their cage. Our anniversary party was 3 weeks away. I'd invited everyone who mattered, both families, all our friends, Noah, Olivia's colleagues. The perfect audience for the perfect revelation. I wasn't going to just expose their affair. I was going to let them destroy themselves in front of everyone they'd ever wanted to impress. The beautiful thing about liars is they always think they're smarter than everyone else. 2 weeks before our anniversary party, I started executing the delicate art of destruction. My weapon wasn't confrontation, it was their own arrogance. Noah was my first target, though he didn't know it. I began our coffee meetings with innocent questions about Olivia's schedule. She's been working such long hours lately, I said, stirring my latte with practiced concern. Last Thursday she didn't get home until midnight, right? Noah frowned. Thursday? No, she was home by 8. We watched a movie. My heart raced, but my face remained perfectly sympathetic. Oh, I must have misunderstood. Liam said he was helping her with a big presentation that night. They were working so late. I watched the first crack appear in Noah's certainty. His lawyer's mind was already cataloging inconsistencies. "I'll have to ask her about that project," he said slowly. "I'm sure it's nothing," I replied, touching his arm reassuringly. You know how Liam exaggerates when he's trying to sound important. With our parents, I played the grateful daughter-in-law. Olivia's been such a support system for Liam lately. She really understands him in ways I sometimes don't. "That's wonderful, dear," Mom said. "Family should support each other." Absolutely. Though sometimes I wonder if Liam relies on her a little too much. He calls her before he calls me when he's stressed. Dad's eyebrows raised slightly. "That's unusual." "Is it? I thought maybe all brothers-in-law were like that." I planted doubt like flower seeds, knowing they'd bloom into suspicion with just a little time and attention. The real breakthrough came when I offered to help Olivia plan Noah's birthday surprise. She'd been so distracted lately, I explained sweetly. I just wanted to be a supportive sister. "You're an angel, Chloe," she said, hugging me tightly. "I don't know what I'd do without you." The irony was delicious. While planning Noah's party, I casually mentioned Liam's upcoming business trip to Chicago. "Chicago?" Olivia looked confused. "When is that?" "Next weekend." "Didn't he tell you?" "Oh wait, I meant to say Cleveland. I always mix up those C cities." But Liam wasn't going to either city. He was supposed to be home all weekend, and I'd just caught Olivia in the act of knowing his schedule better than a sister-in-law should. "Actually, I think he mentioned something about that," she recovered quickly. Too quickly. "It's so sweet how you keep track of everyone's schedules," I said. "You'd make someone a wonderful wife someday." Her face flushed. "I'm just organized." By the third week, I could see the strain wearing on both of them. Liam started coming home earlier, trying to overcompensate for his guilt. Olivia began avoiding family dinners, claiming work stress. But the most satisfying victory came when I discovered Liam's backup plan. I found the apartment listing in his browser history. A 2-bedroom place downtown, saved with the note, "For later." He was already planning our divorce, probably imagining his new life with Olivia while I remained clueless. So I called the landlord myself. "Hi, I'm Chloe Patterson. My husband Liam was interested in your 2-bedroom rental. I just wanted to discuss the pet policy before we move forward." "Of course." Your husband seemed very excited about the space. Said it would be perfect for starting fresh. Starting fresh, yes, that's exactly what we're hoping for. I scheduled a viewing for the day of our anniversary party. When Liam got the confirmation call during breakfast, his face went white. "There must be some mistake," he stammered into the phone. "No mistake, honey," I said cheerfully, buttering my toast. "I thought I'd surprise you by handling the details." For the first time in our marriage, Liam looked at me with something that might have been fear. The power shift was intoxicating, but late at night, alone in our bed while Liam worked late again, I wondered if I was becoming something I didn't recognize. The woman who'd cried in grocery store parking lots was disappearing, replaced by someone calculating and cold. Was I becoming like them? But then I'd remember Olivia's voice. If only she knew she's fighting a battle she lost 7 years ago. And my resolve would harden like steel. My masterpiece was yet to come, and it would happen in front of everyone who mattered. Our anniversary party was supposed to be a celebration. Instead, it became their public execution. The backyard looked perfect. String lights twinkled overhead, champagne glasses sparkled on white tablecloths, and everyone we loved had gathered to celebrate 7 years of what they thought was true love. Liam wore his best suit, the navy one I'd bought him for our wedding anniversary last year. Olivia looked stunning in emerald green, of course she did. Noah held her hand proudly, completely unaware he was dating a woman who'd been emotionally cheating on him for years. To Chloe and Liam, our friend Jake raised his glass. Proof that real love still exists. If only he knew. I stood at the makeshift podium we'd set up by the garden, looking out at 50 faces filled with genuine affection for us. My parents beamed with pride. Liam's mother wiped away happy tears. Noah smiled encouragingly at Olivia, probably thinking about his own proposal plans. "Thank you all for being here tonight," I began, my voice steady and warm. 7 years ago, I thought I knew what love meant. I thought it was about finding someone who chose you, who saw you clearly and decided you were worth building a life with. Liam nodded from his spot near the bar, looking nervous but pleased. He probably thought I was building up to some sentimental toast about our journey together. I've learned so much about love during our marriage. About honesty. About loyalty. About the difference between settling for someone and actually wanting them. Olivia's champagne glass paused halfway to her lips. Something in my tone must have registered. "So tonight, I want to share something with all of you. A little anniversary surprise I've been planning." I clicked the remote for our borrowed projector, and our wedding video began playing on the white sheet I'd hung between 2 trees. Everyone smiled, settling in for a nostalgic trip down memory lane. For 5 minutes, they watched our greatest hits. Our first dance, Liam's tearful vows, Olivia's maid of honor speech about how I'd found my perfect match. Sweet, innocent memories of a love that never really existed. But then the video shifted. Liam's voice filled the garden, crystal clear through the borrowed sound system. "I should have chosen you, Olivia. I should have fought for you before Chloe got in the way." The silence was deafening. Champagne glasses froze mid-sip. My mother's hand flew to her chest. Noah went completely still. On screen, photos of Liam and Olivia together at family events played in slow motion while his recorded voice continued, "Every night I lie next to her and think about you. Every kiss feels like betrayal, not to Chloe, but to us." Liam's face had gone ashen. "Chloe, what is this?" "Our anniversary surprise, darling. Keep watching." Olivia tried to move toward the projector, but Noah caught her arm. "Stay," he said quietly, his lawyer's instincts kicking in. The recording continued, 2 years of secret phone calls and deleted text messages laid bare for everyone who'd ever called us relationship goals. But the real devastation came when Olivia's voice joined the symphony of betrayal. Poor Chloe. She tries so hard to be the perfect wife. If only she knew she's fighting a battle she lost 7 years ago. My mother gasped. Liam's father stepped forward as if to protect me, but I held up my hand. "There's more." Olivia's laugh echoed through the garden, cruel and dismissive. "I know, baby. I've been waiting 7 years for you to realize Chloe was just practice for the real thing." The last photo appeared on screen, Liam and Olivia kissing in a hotel parking lot, taken 3 weeks ago by a private investigator I'd hired. Noah dropped Olivia's hand like it had burned him. "This is edited," Olivia said desperately. "Chloe, you're having some kind of breakdown. This isn't real." "Noah," I said calmly, "your girlfriend has been having an emotional affair with my husband for 2 years. The hotel receipts are in the folder by your chair." Noah looked down, saw the manila envelope, opened it with shaking hands. Liam finally found his voice. "Chloe, please, let's talk about this privately." "Privately?" I laughed, the sound bright and terrible. "Like the private conversations you've been having with my sister? The private plans you made to leave me? The private apartment you put a deposit on?" The crowd was frozen, watching our marriage implode in real time. Olivia made one last desperate play. Liam seduced me. I never wanted this. But Olivia's response in that recording was what truly destroyed everything. "I know, baby. I've been waiting for you to realize Chloe was just practice for the real thing." Olivia's own voice from the recording cut through her desperate lies like a knife through silk. There was no denying those words, no claiming Liam had manipulated her when her own cruel laughter filled the garden. Noah stood slowly, the hotel receipts scattered at his feet like fallen leaves. "We're done, Olivia." His voice was quiet, final. "Don't call me. Don't text me. Don't even look at me. He walked out of our backyard and out of her life without another word. Olivia tried to follow him, stumbling in her heels. Noah, please. Let me explain. But our guests had heard enough explanation. The woman they'd admired for her grace and charm had just been revealed as someone who could laugh at her own sister's pain. Dad physically blocked her path, his face hard with disgust. I think you should leave, he said quietly. Daddy, please. You don't understand? I understand perfectly. You betrayed your sister. In my house, that means you're no longer welcome. Olivia's perfect composure finally cracked. Mascara streamed down her cheeks as she looked around the garden, searching for a single friendly face. She found none. Even her own friends from work, who'd always envied her seemingly perfect life, stared at her with a mixture of shock and judgment. The golden daughter had tarnished beyond repair. Liam made one last pathetic attempt at damage control. Chloe, I made mistakes, but I never physically cheated. We can work through this. I looked at my husband, this man who'd spent 7 years settling for me, and felt nothing but pity. Liam, you married me while in love with another woman. You let me try for 2 years to have babies with someone whose heart belonged to my sister. You planned to divorce me without ever giving me the dignity of honesty. His shoulders sagged. I know. I'm sorry. Sorry doesn't fix 7 years of lies. The party dissolved around us. Guests left in uncomfortable clusters, hugging me with fierce protectiveness and avoiding Liam entirely. My mother stayed to help clean up, her jaw set with the righteous anger only mothers can summon for their wounded children. I always thought there was something off about how he looked at Olivia, she muttered, stacking champagne flutes with more force than necessary. A mother notices these things. Within a week, the fallout was complete and devastating. Olivia's colleagues had seen the video, someone had recorded the confrontation on their phone. Her reputation at the marketing firm crumbled overnight. Clients didn't want to work with someone who'd publicly betrayed family. She was asked to resign. Noah blocked her everywhere and started dating his law partner within a month. Their mutual friends chose him without hesitation. Olivia tried calling me once, 3 weeks after the party. Chloe, I'm sorry. I know you'll never forgive me, but I need you to know I never meant for it to go this far. Olivia, I said calmly, you told Liam I was just practice. You laughed about my ignorance. This went exactly as far as you intended. She moved to Portland 6 months later. Last I heard, she was working as a receptionist and living alone in a studio apartment. Liam begged for forgiveness until the divorce papers were finalized. He couldn't understand why I wouldn't fight for our marriage, couldn't grasp that there was nothing left to fight for. We had good times, he pleaded during our final mediation. That has to count for something. The good times were mine, I told him. You were just acting. I got the house, half his assets, and something infinitely more valuable, my self-respect. The person I'd become during those weeks of planning surprised me. I thought betrayal had broken me, shattered the trusting woman who'd believed in fairy tales. Instead, it had rebuilt me into someone stronger, someone who understood her own worth. For the first time in my adult life, I wasn't trying to be enough for someone else. I was finally enough for myself. But the universe wasn't finished with its poetic justice. The divorce papers were signed exactly 1 year after our anniversary party. I stood in the same hallway where I'd first heard Liam confess his love to Olivia, but this time I wasn't the broken woman sliding down the wall with groceries scattered at my feet. This time, I was signing my name to freedom. Liam tried one last appeal. Chloe, please. We can start over. I realize now that what I felt for Olivia was just fantasy. You're real. You're here. You're second choice, I finished calmly. I'll always be your second choice, Liam. And I finally love myself too much to accept that. 6 months later, something beautiful happened. Noah called me out of the blue. I know this might sound crazy, but would you like to have coffee? I think we understand each other in ways most people don't. Our first date was at Rossetti's, the same restaurant where I'd planned my revenge and Liam had once proposed with lies. This time, when the waiter asked if we were celebrating, I smiled and meant it. Yes. We're celebrating new beginnings built on the ashes of beautiful lies. Noah understood betrayal the way only another survivor could. But more than that, he saw me clearly, not as someone's sister, not as a consolation prize, not as practice for the real thing. Just me, exactly as I was, worth choosing first. Olivia tried to contact me when she heard about Noah and me. The message was brief: I hope you're happy. I was. Completely, genuinely happy in a way I'd never been during 7 years of marriage built on deception. Sometimes the best revenge isn't just exposing the truth, it's building something better from the wreckage they left behind. The grocery store parking lot where I'd once screamed until my voice gave out became the place where Noah first told me he loved me. Full circle, but transformed. Pain into power. Betrayal into freedom. Endings into beginnings. Sometimes fate doesn't just close doors, it builds you a better house entirely.